Well, hello there and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to a live stream here at the Jayda InStitches show. May arrives this week and your girl could not be happier. May is probably my favorite month of the year. Not the least reason being that my birthday is in May, but because May actually means good weather. It means lots of sunshine. It means green grass and beautiful leaves on the trees and flowers. So to that end, I thought we would make ourselves our little 6-inch flower granny square pattern. I love this pattern. We have a whole series of really cute little 6-inch grannies in our Etsy shop. And I thought it would be fun to do our little flower pattern today. So this is total flower power. One of the things I love about this particular pattern is that if you make the flower, it functions beautifully on its own as an applique. If you make it out of cotton, it'll function beautifully as a little coaster. And of course, I'm going to show you how to turn it into an actual granny square. So lots of potential in this little pattern, and it's just so darn cute. It's a cute little scrap buster. I've already got 2 here on the table, and I've been kind of wanting to make a really happy little sunny baby blanket for a while. I've got a whole bunch of little 6-inch grannies in this style, and I think I'm just going to start sharing these little patterns in our live streams with you guys. So if you would like to make a flower power little granny square along with us today, you'll find it's good to have the usuals: pair of scissors, yarn needle. I'm using a 5.5mm hook. So this is also known as an I or a 9. And I feel that that's best with the size 4 medium weight yarn. This is acrylic that you're looking at. But like I said, if you wanted to turn this into a coaster or like even a little miniature dishcloth or something, you could use cotton. You can use cotton even if you're making it into a baby blanket. You can really use any fiber you want. But this specifically, size 4 medium weight yarn. And a 5.5mm hook. You can change your hook size. It will adjust the tension of your stitch work, and it might make your square a little bigger, a little smaller. It all depends. So let's grab some colors. I used yellow and pink for my flowers in these original 2. And I like the green because it makes it look like it's sort of sitting on the lawn, or maybe it's sitting sort of amongst some leaves. So I think I'll probably stick with a green background, but I might change up the colors of my flowers today. For the middle, you're going to need around 10 yards, probably a lot less, but I always try to err on a little bit more. Around the same for your petal color. So let's say 10 yards for your center, 10 yards for the petals. This is per square. And about the same amount for the little white border. If you want to add that, you can add the white border or not. It's up to you. And probably maybe the same 10 yards or so in green or whatever you want to make that main frame color. So very much a scrappy project. Vima, thank you so much. Vima zipping in, saying hello, and sending out a super sweet super sticker. Thank you so much, Vima. That is so cute. Very much springy, guys. I am feeling May. So let's think about May flowers and all the beautiful sunshine and green things that come with May. I am going to grab my yarn. So I've got, you know me. I did this whole thing earlier this year where I put all of my yarn into bags. I sort of sorted it all. So I've got, oh, doesn't this make you happy? Look at this. Color sorted bags of yarn. There's just something about this that just makes me smile like crazy. Yes, Catherine, great idea. Make 6 and turn them into a bag. It's a granny square. You can do anything with them. That would be such a cute little, just even 2 of these back to back. Think of how cute a little gift bag that would be. That's a nice little something for Mother's Day. If you're giving mom something, make a couple of these and stitch them into a little bag. We've got a video on how to turn granny squares into a cute little gift bag. So make 2 of these and turn them into a gift bag. So many options, so many options. I'm going to grab some nice bright yellow for the center of my flower. So that's my yellow taken care of. I'm gonna get some green for the background. Maybe I'll pick my green after I pick my flower color. All right. Oh, dare I go with that rich pink. I mean, does that even show through the power of the lens properly? This is some pink. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to use that pink. That is the pink I'm going to use. This is going to be a super Mayflower. And a nice green to set the whole thing off. Oh, that's very green. Maybe not the right green. That's, I think, too green. That might not be green enough. Joanne, thank you so much for picking up the pattern. Oh, and Joanne reminds me that today's little pattern is on sneaky sale. Sneaky sale. There is a, so first of all, thank you to Vima and Joanne. Thank you very much. Our little thank you sign from Mr. InStitches. And yes, we have a sneaky sale. The little 6-inch flower granny square pattern is on sneaky sale today. And if you're here, you're in the know. Please feel free to avail yourself of the sale. And thank you so much to Joanne for picking that up. I think that isn't green enough, although, you know, that is kind of early green grass. I don't mind that. That's probably the right color right there. I wonder if I've got any more of that in here. I don't, but I do have more over here. Let me grab it. Come here, little ball of yarn. I think that's my green. That's going to be my green. Alrighty. And then, of course, I've got white, but I'll pull that out later for the little edging. All right, let's do this. So this is sort of a size 3, but I'm going to make it work. This is technically a 4, but it leans towards a size 5. I'm going to make it work. And this is a 3/4. I'm going to make it work. So like I said, this is all size 4, but you know what it's like. The yarn categories are a little loosey-goosey. Sometimes a 4 is a little bit more like a 3 or a little bit more like a 5, etc. So I'm going to make it work. I'm going to use my 5.5 millimeter hook because that's what I use for these ones. Here we go. Going to start with the center. I'll get my scissors. Jojo! Hello, Jojo. Jojo's been a member for 24 months. Thank you, Jojo. With a membership milestone, says, love the flower. Granny squares are my favorites. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. You have a wonderful day too. And yes, granny squares are my favorite. I love making squares. You can turn them into a billion things. Sure, there's lots of stuff to crochet out there, but there is just something so satisfying about sitting down, making a cute little square, and being finished in one sitting. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to use a cinch circle. So we're going to start with our center color. We're going to make a cinch circle. So you cross your yarn to make a circle. Looks like a fish. Hook goes through the second or through the center. Pull up a loop, chain 1. And here we go. We're going to chain 3. So that first chain 1 counts. You can chain 2 more on top of that. The chain 3 will count as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet 11 times into the cinch circle, working over top of that short little tail so that we can cinch the whole thing shut when we're done. Our first row will be a circle of 12 double crochets, remembering that the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Welcome, welcome everyone. If you're just arriving, looks like Vima's having an anniversary. Congratulations, Vima. It is a lovely time of year to be celebrating a wedding or a wedding anniversary. All right, I think that's 12. Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. All right, that's 12, including my chain 3. Grab the short tail, cinch it up nice and tight. And we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And I'm going to work over top of that short tail just so it disappears. You can, of course, leave it to the back if you want. And now we are going to grow the circle. So chain 3. Oops, I used the wrong thing. There we go. Chain 3. Double crochet into the same place. So if you pull up, you can sort of see that little space. Double crochet into the same spot that you chained 3 out of. Goodness me, Rena, thank you so much for picking up a pattern. We're going to work 2 double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So like I said, I'm working over top of that little short tail. 2 double crochet into each stitch. We're going to go from 12 to 24 at the end of row 2. the double crochet stitch. It's not too big, it's not too short. It's like a Goldilocks. I think the double crochet is the Goldilocks of the crochet stitches. Like I said, if you were going to turn this into a coaster, then cotton would be the best choice. But I mean, these also make great appliques if you don't square them up. So just saying, you might want to consider that if you are sort of thinking about what you might be decorating your May unblanket, calendar unblanket panel with. Got sort of those things on your mind, then this could be a nice little flower option, just saying. All right, we're going to do a little trick before we finish row 2. Want to make sure that you've got, let's say you include your chain 3 for now. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I want 24 stitches. I don't want a gap. So I'm going to double crochet into the false stitch. That's the little slip stitch from the previous row. So double crochet into the slip stitch that closed the previous row, skip over top of the chain 3, join with a slip stitch to the top of the first real double crochet. That is the center of the flower. You can fasten off, weave in your tail or work over top of it. I might just quickly weave my tail in here. Across the back, just to get it out of the way. And I can worry about making that a little neater a little later on. There we go. There's our center. And now it's time to move on to the petals. This is the super pretty part. Woohoo! Okay. Ah, this pink. I love this pink so much. This pink is almost alive. Oh my goodness gracious. Jessica, thank you. Thank you so much for picking up a pattern. Thank you for picking up the pattern. Really appreciate it. It's such a sunny little flower. Happy, happy, happy. Oh, and of course, I'm also thinking, wouldn't a blanket with everything the same except the petals all changing colors, wouldn't that be so cute? It would look like such a flower power blanket. I just, again, so many options. So many options. All right, we're going to take our petal color. We're going to make a slip knot on our hook. You can technically join it anywhere, but I like to join in the same place that I fastened off. So that's right where I slip stitch to join. I'm going to put my hook through there. I'm going to join with a slip stitch, and I'm going to start making some petals. So here we go. Chain 2, 3 double crochet in the same place. So same place you joined, 3 double crochet. Chain 2 and slip stitch all into the same place. So chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch all into the same place, and that gives you this really cute bubbly little petal. You're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch. So every other stitch is where we're going to build a petal. So slip stitch into every single stitch around, but it's every other stitch that you build the petal out of. So we've slip stitch into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch, slip stitch, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch into the next stitch, and then we start it all over again. So if you've got 24 stitches all the way around at the end of row 2, you're going to have 12 petals because you're building a petal in every other stitch, even though you're slip stitching into each stitch all the way around. So slip stitch into the next stitch and begin a petal. Chain 2, 3 double crochet, all in the same place. Chain 2, slip stitch into the same place. So I've got 3 petals so far. Slip stitch into the next stitch. That's your little spacer. And then into the next stitch, slip stitch, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch. And that's the little repeater all the way around. Look how happy this looks. Oh my gosh. Cheerful little sweet little petals and a flower. Oh my gosh. I love these colors. This is just making me smile so much. Dawn's wondering where I found that pink. This is Uptown Yarns Hot Magenta, I think. Uptown Yarns. I know, it's just the most spectacular pink I think I've ever found in a yarn. And I need to get more of it. Hi, Tori. Tori's been a member for 56 months. Thank you, Tori. Tori, with a membership milestone, is finally live. It's been so long. Yes, it's been a week and a day. I'm really glad that you guys could all be here today. I am super grateful for that. All right, I'm going to build some more petals. So I'm slip stitching into the next stitch and then into the next stitch. And that's where I start my next petal. Chain 2, 3 double crochet. Chain 2, slip stitch. So one stitch along row 2 gets a whole petal built into it. Slip stitch into the next stitch, and then start again in the next stitch. Slip stitch, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch. Hello, Lala. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I saw you here in the chat. Lala Gama, hello, hello. Member for 68 months. Thank you so much, Lala. Just popping in to say hello. Thank you, thank you. Every time I make one of these little flowers, I kind of pause and I think, oh, do I actually just want to use this as an applique, or will I go whole hog and turn it into a granny square? Of course, like anything, you can size up or down easily by changing the yarn weight and the hook size. So for example, if you wanted to, make some of these as little appliques out of crochet thread, you could follow the exact same pattern, change nothing, just the thread and the hook size, and of course it would downsize considerably and look very lacy, very pretty. You can upsize if you were making like a great big super thick blanket weight yarn blanket or project. You could use blanket weight yarn and then just an appropriate hook for your tension or the tension you want for the project. So, anything from a 6.5 millimeter hook up to an 8 millimeter hook, depending on what you need or what you want or how tight or loose you crochet. That's the fun with granny squares. And also granny squares built on things like a motif, which this one is. So that's 12. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And I feel like I've got a little extra loop or a little stitch here that I don't really need. So I'm trying to figure out, probably because so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, instead of slip stitching into this stitch, I'm going to slip stitch, make sure I've got 12. I do have 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I got 12. Okay, good. 12 pretty little petals. You should have 12 all the way around. And I've got an extra stitch here, so I'm just going to slip stitch into that and into this one to close. I'm trying to figure out why I wound up with an extra one. Did I get so excited that I skipped a stitch? Or I didn't skip a stitch? I may have. Tell you what. Let me go back and look. I feel like I did this last live stream. Why is Miss Jayda so distracted these days? It's a good question. Oh, is that it? I think that might be it right there. Yep. Haha, I found it. Cannot read the chat and crochet at the same time. Yeah, I knew I had 24 stitches. It's easy to go back and find out where you messed up if you're only supposed to be doing this every other stitch. I get going so fast. My little fingers speed ahead of my brain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. And then that leaves me with one left. Perfect. That's more like it. That's more like it. There's my little petal. slip stitch into the last stitch, and then slip stitch into the same place that you began. And now you should have 12 petals like that. They should be evenly dispersed around your center like that. And you can fasten off. Actually, maybe we're not going to fasten off. No, we are going to fasten off. Save more of that pink for later. Okay. So, going to weave in my tails now. I think I might just keep going in the same direction. You can leave all this to the end and weave your tails in at the end if you want. I just kind of like to do it as I go sometimes to get them out of my way. Excuse me. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, making a little 6-inch flower granny square today. The pattern is for sale on our Etsy shop. It's on sneaky sale today, so please feel free to avail yourself of the sale. And thank you to everybody who's already picked up a pattern. I really appreciate it. There we go. All right, so at this point, it's kind of nice to just sort of take your petals and press them outwards. Like I said, this would be such a cute set of coasters if you make them all in cotton, in which case you're done. If you're going to use this as an applique, you're done, but leave a long tail on your petal color if you're going to use it as an applique to sew it down, unless you have other ways you're going to stitch it down, like if you're going to use sewing thread or something, because you're sort of in the middle of another kind of project. But that's the flower part done. So now we can add the greenery. Tori says, Lily just turned 18. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to take our green now and we are going to start with a slip knot. We're going to practice some back loop only work because if I pick this up, you'll notice that we are connecting our green to our petals. But we really don't want to fully interrupt the pretty little edge work that our stitches create of that nice round kind of petal look. So we're going to be using the back loops only. So you can pick any petal, find the middle double crochet. So you're always going to be looking of the three double crochets, the one in the middle is the one you want. You want the back loop. So remember, this is the whole stitch. That's 2 loops. This is the front loop because it's the closest to you. This is the back loop because it's the furthest from you. You're going to join with a slip stitch in the back loop only of any middle stitch. Don't worry if it pulls up a little bit. Don't worry about that. That is going to happen. Not a big deal. We are going to chain 3 and into the back loop only of the next middle stitch of the next petal. So find the middle double crochet, back loop only, slip stitch. Chain 3, skip to the next petal, find the middle stitch, back loop only, slip stitch. Chain 3, back loop only, slip stitch into the middle stitch of each petal all the way around. So you'll have 3 chains in between each petal. Your back loop only slip stitching into that middle stitch of each petal. And this is going to just sort of set us up to create a squaring up of our flower so that we can turn it into a granny square. It is storm season. May for us is very stormy. Honestly, we've had a lot of rain lately, but May is when the temperatures can kind of really flip-flop, so you can get things like tornadoes and whatnot. So yeah, May can also be very, very stormy. When you get all the way around, chain your last 3, and you're going to join with a slip stitch in the same place that you joined your yarn in. And then, to set ourselves up for row 5, we're going to just slip stitch into the chain 3 space. So join with a slip stitch and slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Oh my gosh, I really like that green with that pink. Woohoo! This is going to be very, very pretty. Okay, here we go. Row 5. This is the greenery row, the background row, this actual sort of squaring up. A little sip of my water. Here we go. We are going to chain 3. The chain 3 does count as a double crochet for this row. 2 double crochet into the same space. And that is the all familiar shell. Ah, the granny shell. Foundation of so many fantastic squares. Chain 2, because we're going to make a corner in this same space. 3 double crochet into the same chain 3 space that we started here in. So that's shell, chain 2 shell. That's a corner right off the bat, and chain 1. Into each of the next 2 spaces, we're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 1. You're not going to believe this, but I think I hear a lawnmower outside. I feel like it's a bit early for that. 3 double crochet, chain 1 into each of the next 2 chain 3 spaces. So you start with a corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, or in this case, chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1. We're using the chain 1 as a spacer. 3 double crochet, chain 1 into each of the next 2 spaces. And now we're going to go back to a corner. So into the next space, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1. Three double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1. So that's your corner. And now we repeat into each of the next 2 spaces, 3 double crochet, chain 1. And we're just squaring things up. You can pause for a second and put it down. Pull out those little squares, and you've got this flower popping out now. Time to do another corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, all into the same space. And again, we're using the chain 1 just as a little extra bit of space. We want that little extra bit of give to sort of let our flower pop out and also give our square kind of a nice shape, a little more flexibility. 3 double crochet, chain 1 into each of the next 2 spaces. And heading into the last corner. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, home stretch. And that leaves us with 2 chain 3 spaces left, these little guys, and so they each get 3 double crochet, chain 1. And that completes row 5 and the squaring up of our little flower. And then you just have to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So that finishes off row 5. And I like to take a moment and just pull out those corners. And now you can see that because we used the back loops only of our petals to anchor that little miniature row of which we sort of build the granny square or the granny squaring onto, it doesn't interrupt the inside edge of the petal. So the petal still wants to continue its shape. It's still, the flower kind of shape really pops out of that square at us. It looks like it's in a little frame. I really like that. Sip of my water here. Absolutely, Maeve. The flower as an applique would look really cute on denim. Honestly, anything would look cute on denim. I love using denim as a canvas. Kay is asking about membership information. There's a join button underneath the videos. It should be like blue and white or blue or something like that. If you click on that, it'll have all kinds of information about becoming a member. Membership is a way to support the channel, and if you would like to do so, we deeply appreciate it. Big thank you to all of our awesome family members. We really appreciate your support. And if you just want to subscribe, that really helps us out too. Being subscribed is a gigantic help. I think like 50% of the people who watch the show aren't actually subscribed. So subscribing helps a lot as well. And that is free. So thank you to all of you who are subscribed or members. We really appreciate it. Lala with a sweet old super chat. Thank you so much, Lala. Lala says, catch replay later. Up since 1 a.m. Woo! Go get some sleep, Lala, and thank you for being here. And Tori with a membership, with a super chat. Thank you so much, Tori. Tori says, need another session of Granny Square game, but with solid grannies. Yes, got to do another Granny Square game. Like I said, we have not given up. We are going to do it. We just need to sort ourselves out so that we're all in the same place. Mr. Stitches needs to help me do that. It's a lot more fun if I can just focus on the crocheting and he kind of keeps the timer going and rolls the dice or spins the little wheel of chaos. I really want to get back to the Granny Square game, and I think I want to slightly skew it this time so that I've picked out my colors to be a specific set of colors. So my 6 colors, and we're going to pick a different Granny Square pattern. And I'm going to try and make enough to fulfill a particular project. And I haven't quite settled on the project yet. But like I said, we need to be in a situation where we can kind of like both be sitting at the same table, which means he's got to have the computer, and there's a whole bunch of like logistics around it that we haven't been able to sort out yet. So we are going to get back to it. Absolutely. And yes, Penny also needs to be managed so that she's not trying to be in the middle of it all. Once you finish row 5, you can fasten off your green or whatever color you were using for your little frame there. And this part is optional. So this is what really turns it into a 6-inch square. I haven't blocked these in a while. I just kind of made them and plunked them down and put them back in my granny stash. But we are going to single crochet all the way around. This act of giving it a row of single crochet just edges it up to the 6-inch mark. If you are using a thicker yarn and a bigger hook, or you just have bigger tension, you might see that you are hitting the 6-inch mark after you've done this row. That's fine. If you actually need a 6-inch square, then either measure when you get to the end of row 5, you might be good, or add row 6, and that should set you up. If you are much smaller, because let's say you're using a much smaller hook or much smaller yarn and you want the 6 inches, you can do another row of the granny shell stitch. So it's the same pattern: shell, chain 2, shell, chain 1 in the corners, shell, chain 1 in each of the chain 1 spaces, or 3 double crochet, chain 1. So you can just continue now to add more rows of that granny square, that granny shell stitch, if you want to make it bigger. So let's say you wanted slightly larger squares, maybe 8-inch. You could just keep adding that row of granny shell until you were done. Adding the row of single crochet is optional at any point. You can leave it on or leave it off. You can do 2 rows of the granny shell and then add a row of the single crochet. It's up to you. So there's a lot of flexibility here. I like this little narrow row of single crochet because it's kind of like a little mini frame. And it does size it up to about 6 inches, which is what I was going for, because I kind of had like a particular project in mind, which I'm not sure I'm going to do anymore. Now it might be morphing into something else, but I did want a 6-inch square, and I did like the idea of a skinnier edging as opposed to just finishing with the granny shell stitch. But that's 1 row of granny shell stitch. You can add more if you want. I'm going to add the row of single crochet, so let me dig around, find some white yarn here. I might have to go get some off the shelf. I've got a lot of it. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab my yarn. Hang on 1 second, guys. I've got to nip into the big stash. Okay. And and the white lands. All right, a little bit of my water, and here we go. Now, I'm going to work over top of my little green tail. You could weave yours in. Like I say, at the end of every row, it's good to kind of weave your tails in or work over top of them as you go. It just makes all that tidy up at the end a lot less or a lot faster. So I'm going to join my yarn. You can join with a slip stitch chain 1, or you can join with a single crochet. It's entirely up to you. Goodness me, Christine, thank you so much for picking up today's pattern. The sneaky sale. Let's see, I've got a couple of, I got to thank a few people. I've got some super chats to put out the big thank you sign for. A couple of purchases to put out the big thank you sign. So that's a big thank you. Thank you guys so much. And also, a reminder, sneaky sale. We do have today's pattern on sneaky sale. It is 15% off. So thank you for picking it up. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you can join with a single crochet in any corner or slip stitch chain 1. It's up to you. I think I'm going to join with a single crochet because why not? So joining with a single crochet or slip stitch chain 1. Then you want to single crochet again. So if you join with a single crochet once more. If you join with a slip stitch chain 1, 2 single crochet. Either way, we want to have 2 single crochet in that corner space. Chain 2 and 2 single crochet. So the corners all get 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet. So that's your little corner. 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet. We do not chain 1 now. We are just single crocheting in each stitch and space all the way across. So don't miss the top of that first stitch when you leave the corner. Make sure you single crochet into it. So there's 3 single crochets worked across each shell, and then a single crochet in the chain 1 space. Pardon me. Single crochet in each stitch, single crochet in each space. Now, depending on the needs of your project, you could make this double crochets. You could make this half double crochets. And like I said, you could leave it off altogether, or you could add the single crochet row after you've done several more rows of the granny shell stitch. It's entirely up to you, because everybody's projects are a little bit different. Everybody's tension is a little bit different. Maybe you're using really thin yarn, maybe you're using really thick yarn. So a couple ways to sort of play with this pattern. It's a granny square. Granny squares typically are pretty flexible. 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the corner. And that is really going to, that single crochet stitch is going to just sort of stretch everything out really nicely. Single crochet in each stitch. Remember, pull back. Don't miss the top of that first stitch. I'm working over top of my short tail. Single crochet is a great stitch for working over top of tails. Single crochet in each space and single crochet in every single stitch. There's my little tail hidden. Oh my gosh, triplets, Mela. That's huge. Wow. Two single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the corner. Don't forget, when you leave a corner, pull back so you don't miss the top of that first stitch. Single crochet in every stitch, single crochet in each chain 1 space. It's so much fun when you know there's new babies coming. I just was chatting with a couple of friends, one whom is having a baby this summer, another one who's becoming a grandmother again this summer. So lots of lots of opportunities to make cute little things. I love that. That's one of my favorite things. There's always a new crop of little people coming along. Lots of fun excuses to make cute stuff. 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the corner, and single crochet in each stitch and space across the side. Easy peasy. Almost done this row. Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for being here. Single crochet in the last stitch before the chain 2 space and join with a slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet you made. So whether you joined with a slip stitch chain 1 and then single crocheted or joined with a single crochet, it's the single crochet you're joining to. Becky, thank you for picking up today's pattern. Thank you, thank you. Sneaky sale alert. And then you can fasten off. Ah, the pink, the green, the white frame. Ah, I love color so much. Flip it over. Weave that tail in, and like anything, there's ways to be more efficient if you're making a whole bunch of these. So if you're making a whole bunch for a little baby blanket or a little gift bag or whatever your plans are, I like to do all of the centers of my flowers first. So I get my yellow or my orange or whatever, I make a whole bunch of my centers. So row 1 and row 2, just make a ton of them. Then I pick my petal colors and I start doing the petal row. I do like, only petals. So I finish off all of the flowers and I have all my flowers. Cappy, hi, thank you for picking up the pattern. Thank you, thank you. So I get all my flowers done. Then I do my row of the granny shell stitch. If I'm doing just the one row or multiple rows, I get all of my flowers squared up and then I go around and I add that border row. So if I'm on the go, I'm only dealing with like one color at a time. Let's say I'm heading out today. I'm just going to make my centers. I only need to take my hook, my scissors, and my center color. So I don't have to drag a whole great big wad of stuff around with me. Same thing, I go out the next day or a couple days later, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do the petals today. If I'm doing them all one color, great. If I'm doing 2 or 3 colors, that's fine. I've only got a little bit of the color to take with me. That's what I'm focusing on. Same thing. Oh, I want to put all my squares on. Thank you, goodness gracious, Sakura Sue. Thank you for picking up today's flower pattern. On sale, sneaky sale. Where's my sneaky sale sign? Sneaky sale alert. That is the flower power. Thank you guys. Thank you. The big thank you sign comes out as well. Thank you so much. So yeah, and then I square up all of my squares with my background color, and that's again just one color I got to drag out with me. And same thing with the little edging. So it's a great on-the-go little project. You can just sort of work on it in little bits at a time. Modularly, you can make all your centers, add all your petals, add all your squared up bits, and then add your border rows. I also kind of like, I like the idea of changing up the petal colors. So I always like this. This can be any color really, but I like using green because I think it looks like the little flower is sitting in a nest of its own little leaves, kind of like it's a flowering bush or something. So I love that. If I wanted to continue with that real kind of flowers in the grass or flowers in the garden or the bush look, I would probably do the edging in green again. Like I wouldn't fasten off. I would just do the row in green, the same green that I did this in, or leave it off altogether. That's like I say, it's up to you. It's up to your requirements. But I like this makes me think it looks like little tiles. So I love it when a granny square can look like one of those pretty Portuguese tiles, or like one of those, you know what I'm saying, those pretty little porcelain tiles, the really fancy ones that you make like backsplashes and stuff with. This makes me think of a little tile. So that's why I like the little white border, but you can make the border any color. It can also be the same as this, or you can leave it off. Then you can take the opportunity to block them if you feel they need blocking, or you can just start joining them into your project because they will square up as you go, as you stitch them together. Or you can just wait till the entire project's done to square them up, to do any blocking that you think needs to be done. But I always like to do just a little bit of hand blocking when I'm finished, just so I can sort of stand back and appreciate the squareness of the overall picture. Like I said, great little scrap buster, adorable for blankets, but also I feel like this would make such a cute little gift bag. And I will make sure I link the Granny Square gift bag tutorial in the description box down below after today's tutorial or live stream is done. Just so you can make these 2 squares, and then you just basically join them together the same way in the pattern and add the top. It's the top that really turns it into the bag. You can seam these any way you like, but adding that little top row and the drawstring row, that's what really turns it into the bag. I just feel like this would be such a cute little gift bag. It would be an adorable purse. I recommend using like a sturdy cotton or a wool in that case and lining it. You can line it in 2 different ways. You can line it individually with some cotton fabric or satin or whatever you want to use, and then just stitch them together and it's lined, or make the little bag, stitch it all together, and then make a little fabric pocket, tuck it in and stitch around the top of the seams. Add a little Barbara, thank you so much for picking up the pattern. Add a little strap and you've got like the cutest little purse for a little girl. Or you could make it bigger. You could make 4 and make yourself make 8, 4 per side, and have a really cute bag. Same thing, stitch it together, add a lining, add a strap. If you're going to make it a bag, I recommend going for like a sturdy version of yarn that doesn't want to pill. If you hear banging, it's because there's a woodpecker on our eaves trough. Yes, that's where I live. I live where woodpeckers bang on eaves troughing. You can make 8, 4 per side. That would be such a cute bag. And I recommend like a really sturdy cotton or a wool, again, something that's not going to pill, something that'll hold up to a lot of abuse. Because if you use a bag a lot, it rubs. So your arm kind of rubs against your side. You know, maybe you're picking it up, you're putting it down in the car, you're picking it back up again. So there's a lot of motion, and bags take a lot of abuse. So use a sturdy yarn. A flower bucket hat, says Jessica Rabbit. You know what? We've got a tutorial. We've got a pattern for a daisy bucket hat, a daisy granny square bucket hat in our Etsy shop, and I feel like this one would probably sub in for the daisy square quite nicely, because again, it's that 6 inches you want. You want to like have 4, and that's what turns it into. You have 4 of these. That's what becomes the crown of your head. And then just like a little one on top, and then like a little bit of a brim. Yes, that would be adorable. And I'd be hard pressed to decide, do I make them all the same color or do I make them all different? The pattern is in our Etsy shop, Mary. Mary, thanks for asking. If you want to pick up a copy of the pattern, you can click on the Etsy link. It'll be up top in the live chat, where Mr. InStitches has pinned it next to the little shop emoji, or you'll find it in the description box if you are here later. I don't know about you, but I've been, if I'm looking at it on the tablet when a video is live, I can't access the description box until the video is finished. I don't know if that's like a software current thing that I might have to deal with, but anyway, it is in the description box. So if you can't access the description box now, you can later, and it's in the live chat. So there we go. This is, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So there's my third one. Just a quick to measure. So that's 6 inches, and these ones have been kind of blocked a little bit and then put away. So that one's blocked out to 6 inches. This one's just about 6 inches. So with a little bit of extra blocking, it'll size back up to the 6 inches. But I just, flowers. May arrives this week, and I've just got flowers on the brain. They make me so happy. Speaking of May, it is the Unblanket week here at the Etsy, or at the Jayda InStitches show. So Friday is actually the first Friday. This Friday is the first Friday in May. So that means it's Calendar Blanket Friday, and we're working on the Unblanket this year. So we're already into Unblanket number 5. I honestly can't believe it. That just kind of blows my mind a little bit. Wowzers. But that isn't until Friday. I know today is Tuesday. That will be Friday. Friday is still a few days away. But that was this week's live stream. Thank you guys so much for popping in and sharing the day with us today. I know we usually live stream on Mondays. Goodness gracious. Russet, thank you for picking up the sneaky sale pattern. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we had to, yesterday was election day here in Canada, so we took the day off to make sure that we could handle the the craziness sometimes that comes along with election day. There's a lot of traffic you don't expect, and lineups you don't expect. So we didn't want to be rushed either trying to get out and get back, or trying to get through the live stream and then get out and get back. We didn't really know what to expect at the polls, so we took the day off, and we're here today instead. And like I said, May arrives, so it's all about flowers today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will see you Friday for Unblanket Friday. And stay tuned to the posts tab. All this week we'll be sharing everybody's April, some Marches, maybe even a couple of February and January unblankets as you share your photos with us. And you can do that at the Etsy shop as well. So if you click on the Etsy link, just click on Message Seller, and you can upload a photo to the message thread that way. And we're happy to share them. We'll be sharing them all this week. So have a great week. Stay safe, stay crafty. Take a deep breath. Here comes the spring. All that beautiful, sweet spring air is finally arriving. May comes with all of her beautiful flowers. Hence, we've made 3 of them here, or at least 1. May flowers are here. We've made it through the April rains. And we'll see you guys Friday for the May Unblanket. Thank you guys again. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.